Quiet on the set. Cameras rolling. In 3, 2, 1.
You know, ladies, see, that was a very good family study this evening. I look forward to the meeting tomorrow. But I did want to talk to you about something. You know, the elders have asked me to give the local needs part this week. And the part that we had selected to talk about was how we can do more for Jehovah, you know, expanding our service to Jehovah. Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I was going to try to work into the talk was the part that deals with, that the society mentioned just a few weeks ago, about how the friends can give their frequent flyer miles, their travel miles. And I think there'll be something good to work into the talk.
Are you talking about the reward points that they talked about at the JW Broadcasting?
Yes. The reward points. And so I'm just going to work it into the talk, how we can do more, how we can do more for Jehovah and his organization. We can expand. And I think that's an excellent way to do that. But I did want to mention this to you, though. You know, as an elder and yourself as a regular pioneer, we always have to set the example. And I think in order to encourage the friends to do that, we need to consider doing the same thing ourselves.
So what do you got in mind?
Well, you know, we were planning this trip to Hawaii using our frequent flyer miles. And I was just thinking that this might be a good way we can set an example for the congregation.
So we've racked up all of our flyer miles that we've been putting together for all these years.
Yes.
For our special anniversary.
That is true.
So if we give up our flyer miles, our frequent miles, how are we going to get to Hawaii?
Well, being that this is all about doing more in Jehovah's service, this will be a sacrifice that we as a family could make.
This can't be happening.
And, you know, we live here in the Washington, D.C. area. You know, we always go to the Smithsonian or to the zoo or the botanical gardens.
This is a joke, right?
No.
I got my outfits and everything already packed? You gotta be kidding me.
Yes, this is a perfect example we can set for the congregation.
But I've already gotten off work. My job gave me the time off.
That is true.
So you mean that we can't show our appreciation any other way? You don't think that me pioneering already is making a sacrifice?
Well, see,
working part-time?
Well, see, that's the whole point of the talk, ladies. See, how can we do more? See, how can we do more? Do more. You know, we should want to stretch ourselves and do more. And so this will be a perfect opportunity. As you know, here in our congregation, we have a lot of brothers and sisters who live here in the Washington, D.C. area and work for the government or either work as contractors for the government. And we all do a lot of traveling. We know the friends in our hall travel all the time. And this is really, like I said, this will be an excellent opportunity for all of us to think seriously about how can we do more. That's what we want to do. So,
but I've been looking forward to this trip for so long.
I understand.
I need a vacation.
Well, this is what I'm talking about. This is how we show Jehovah and his organization that we want to do more.
Well, they're already getting a lot of money.
Yeah, but this is a way in which we can do more.
We're already doing more.
Well, this will be do even more.
I mean, we had our electric bill cut off last week. Come on now.
But we can do more now. We can do more. And that's what this is all about. How we can expand in doing more for Jehovah and his organization, the society.
You are kidding me.
So now let's review what we discussed in our local needs on how we can do more in our service to Jehovah and support of his visible organization. Just looking back, we looked at how Proverbs, the wise King Solomon, said we can show honor to Jehovah with our valuable things. In the Greek scriptures, we looked at the widow's mite. And we know today we have this opportunity that the society is extending to everyone who has the ability to provide your travel mileage. Yes, your travel rewards. So a mature Christian doesn't need to be told what to do. The mature Christian doesn't ask when the society says jump. Why? The mature Christian says, how high? So the question is, what will you do with your travel rewards?
Hey, this is Lady C.
Hey, this is JT.
It's all about the money, folks. All about the money. And Watchtower trying to become the next top travel agency. Isn't that a shame? Isn't it a shame, JT?
It's pretty bad.
It's pretty bad.
One of the reasons why we decided to do the two little skits is because it reminded us of a video we did. It dealt with an issue called the fog, fear, obligation, and guilt. And to be honest with you, that's what we see taking place. The Watchtower is going to use one of those three tools. In this case, they're going to use two of them, obligation and guilt. Oftentimes when the society makes what is called suggestions, these suggestions in the culture of Jehovah's Witnesses oftentimes will become the de facto rule. For example, you have a witness that has a lot of miles and he's in a car group and he's talking about using his miles to go on vacation. You can rest assured that there is going to be a Jehovah's Witness who's going to ask him, why don't you give them to the society? And so witnesses will become feeling obligated. And if they don't, they feel guilty. And this is one of the techniques that the society has used so well. When the society uses a lot of buzzwords, loaded languages, such as mature Christians. When I was growing up as a kid, one of the things that I often would hear is they would use the phrase mature youths, mature youths. And so you will hear the phrase such as mature youth, they know how to view higher education. Well, what does that really mean? Well, we know what that really means. A mature youth is one who will not go to college. And so we often see the society will use these buzzwords. They'll set up a scenario, then they will explain what the criteria is, and then they'll say, now you need to meet this standard. And so this is really just another opportunity that the society can use their obligation and their fear, because now it's been held at meetings. It's going to be talked about by the circuit overseer. Elders will put it into their talks. And so once again, the friends will be beat to death. So for those who have frequent flyer miles and they don't give them to the society, you can rest assured nobody is going to commend them for keeping their frequent flyer miles.
And it's like for me, like when we did the skit and we were we were supposed to be going to Hawaii in our skit. And so then, of course, you got to set the example because you're the elder in the congregation and you're the regular pioneer. So if you're giving this talk to the congregation and then now people hear about you going to Hawaii and you're using your mileage, then they're going to look at you and think, well, you're not setting the example. And then it gets all misconstrued because in the JW broadcast meeting, they were saying that it's the miles that you're not going to use. Eventually that becomes the mileage that you should just be donating because they're asking for it. Then they begin to compare you to people in other countries. They can't afford this, they can't afford that. And I remember back in the 80s, there was this talk that was circulating. And this brother was talking about the people in Western countries. And he said, you guys got your washing machines and your drying machines. And he was giving this talk and he was trying to make people feel guilty because in other countries, they could afford to buy these machines to wash the clothes. So then he was kind of like comparing that to people in other countries and how they didn't have these things and how we didn't appreciate spiritual things because we had all of these modern conveniences. And so it just went downhill from there. Everybody listening to this video knows this is true because the next thing you have happening is your spirituality is now being called into question whether or not you are giving away these rewards. And so it becomes the culture. People begin to look at you funny. You're not doing this, you're not doing that. You already have all of these things, extra things you already don't need. It's just crazy.
You know, it's also interesting, along with what Lady C said, is how they first started out coming after the kids' ice cream. Now they're coming after the mileage. And it will not stop. It will continue to go on because that's what high control groups do. They never get enough and you will never do enough. You can jump as high as you want to. You can run as fast as you want to. You will never do enough because that is one of the characteristics of a high control group. It's just that simple.
Well, we want to thank you so much for being in our audience. And for those of you who enjoyed this presentation, please give us a thumbs up. Share your comments below. We would love to hear what you have to say about this topic and the Jehovah's Witnesses and donating your reward points. This has been Lady C.
And this has been JT.
Thank you so much for being in our audience.
This program was sponsored by Critical Thinkers.